Romeo and Juliet. Let's talk a little bit about the play itself, some of the main characters, and then also the time period and the themes. First, Romeo and Juliet is considered a tragedy. And you'll remember we defined tragedy in our last presentation when we said that it is a play that has a disastrous ending. It tells the story of two teenagers who risk everything for love. Shakespeare is actually exploring which is stronger, love or hate. The first family we'll discuss are the Montagues. There is Lord and Lady Montague, who are the mother and father of Romeo. Romeo, who is the one that is in love with Juliet. Then we have Benvolio, who is the nephew of Montague and a friend of Romeo's. Balthazar, who is a servant to Romeo, and Abram, who is a servant to Montague. The servants actually play pretty significant roles, both in the Montague family as well as in Juliet's family. And you want to pay attention to the roles that the servants play as we read this story. The Capulets. Lord Capulet is the father of Juliet. Lady Capulet is her mother. Juliet is the character who's in love with Romeo. Tybalt is the nephew of Lady Capulet. The nurse is the nurse who takes care of Juliet. And then Peter is the servant to Juliet's nurse. And again, the nurse plays a very important role as a guide to Juliet. And so we want to pay attention to the interactions between the nurse and Juliet. Some of the other characters that we'll explore. Princess Gallus, who is the ruler of Verona. Mercutio, who is a kinsman of the prince and a friend of Romeo. Friar Lawrence, who is a Franciscan priest who also advises Romeo and Juliet. Friar John, who is another Franciscan priest. And then Count Paris, who is a young nobleman and eventually becomes Juliet's fiancé. Some things to think about as we explore this play. What would you do if your parents did not approve of someone you were dating? That is the situation that Romeo and Juliet find them in. And so this is one of the questions we'll explore. How important is the opinion of your family in the decisions that you make? And then finally, does violence ever solve problems? This is one of the other things, the battle between love and hate and violence in these particular families.